Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you for being here today. As always, if you are new and you are interested in tarot cards, tarot readings, true crime cases, unsolved crime cases, and the occasional candle making video or fragrance review video, please consider subscribing. I really do appreciate it. It really helps me out. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I know that that's really small in the YouTube world, but I'm really proud of having as many subscribers as I have now, and I'm looking forward to reach that 1,000 goal so that I can start doing live videos and doing live readings for all of you. And so I really do appreciate you helping me out and supporting the channel like that. For those of you who come back every week, I so appreciate it. I love reading your comments. You guys are always so supportive. I rarely get any kind of negative feedback, if ever, so I really do appreciate that. And remember too, always, that we do not have to agree on the outcome of cases. You know, tarot cards, I look at them as puzzle pieces, and we are simply trying to put these puzzle pieces together that make sense, and we all are going to interpret tarot cards differently. I don't believe that there's any one interpretation for each card that you have to go with that's solid, concrete. I take all of the imagery into account when I'm reading, and most importantly, just your gut instinct of what that card is making you feel like. So it is okay to definitely look at the cards that I pull and say, you know, I don't know, when I look at that card, I don't really get this. I get this instead. And so that is awesome, and that is great, and I encourage you guys to do that. Many of you will write in the comment section of a particular card and how it made you feel, and I love that because we're just brainstorming and we're trying to put this puzzle together. So having said that, I hope everyone is doing well. It is a beautiful, beautiful spring day, and happy May. It's May 1st. So I think we are on our way to spring now. I think it's safe to say, hopefully, that the snow is behind us. Of course, I'm in Indiana, so it might snow tomorrow. I have no idea, but fingers crossed that it doesn't. So, all right, so today's case is going to be on Kyron Horman, and that was also a requested video. I'm hesitant to read on children. I've done it before. There was one case that I have mentioned now a couple times to you guys, the Asia degree case, and I think I might try to pick that one up and try to do it again. I just had a really hard time trying to connect a particular deck to Asia, just because of the age. And so I tried it again recently on the Oren and Orson case, and that seemed to turn out okay. I tried to focus more on the adults in that, and I think that's what I'm going to do with Kyron's case as well. And on top of that, you know, Kyron has been missing for over 10 years now. I think we're going on 11 years. And so he is not the young man that we are used to seeing in the photos. He is now a young man. He would be, I think, probably 19 going on 20. And so, you know, we're going to try to see what kind of information we can get. I am going to read just the basic background of the disappearance. I'm probably guessing that most of you are aware of what happened to Kyron. I was familiar with this case when it was mentioned to me, and it's still unsolved. And there's a lot of crazy things going on in this case. So let's see what we can pull out and see what kind of information we can find. So also, quickly, to just let you guys know, I noticed that Kyron was born on September 9th, 2002. That's actually my birthday, so I share a birthday with Kyron. I was born on September 9th, and my youngest son was actually born in 2003, so my youngest son is around the same age as Kyron. So that was just kind of a, you know, wanted to mention that. But okay, so Kyron Richard Horman was born on September 9th, 2002 in Portland, Oregon, to Desiree Young and Kane Horman, an engineer for Intel. Desiree and Kane Horman divorced 8 months into her pregnancy with Kyron, with Desiree citing irreconcilable differences. The two had been granted shared custody. I guess I should put my glasses on. shared custody of Kyron until 2004, but when Desiree was diagnosed with kidney failure that required extensive medical intervention, Kane took over full custody. Notwithstanding this fact, Desiree still remained an active part of Kyron's upbringing. In 2007, Kane, which again is Kyron's father, married Terry Moulton, who was a substitute teacher originally from Roseburg, Oregon. Kane became romantically involved with Terry in 2001 when he and Desiree were in the midst of divorcing. Kane and Terry ended up marrying in 2007 while in Kauai. In December 2008, Terry gave birth to a daughter, Kiara. Meanwhile, Kyron was a student at Skyline Elementary School near Forest Park. So now we're going to go into what happened on the day that Kyron disappeared. On June 4th, 2010, Kyron was taken to school by his stepmother, Terry, who then stayed with him while he attended a science fair. Terry stated that she left the school at around 8:45 a.m. and that she last remembered seeing Kyron walking down the hall to his first class. However, he was never seen in his first class, which was a math class, and was instead marked as absent that day. Terry's statements to the police indicate that after leaving the school at 8:45 a.m., she ran errands at two different Fred Meyer grocery stores until about 10:10. Between then and 11:39 a.m., Terry stated that she was driving her daughter around town in an attempt to use the motion of the vehicle to soothe the toddler's earache. Terry said that she then went to a local gym and worked out until about 12:40 p.m. By 1:21 p.m., she had arrived home and posted photos of Kyron at the science fair on Facebook. At 3:30 p.m., Terry and her husband Kane walked with their daughter Kiara to the bus stop to meet Kyron. The bus driver told them that the boy had not boarded the bus after school, however, and to call the school to ask his whereabouts. Terry did so only to be informed by the secretary that as far as anyone knows, Kyron had not been at school since early that day and he had accordingly been marked absent. Realizing that the boy was missing, the secretary called 911. So initial search efforts were pretty extensive. They primarily focused around a 2-mile radius around the Skyline Elementary and on, Salvi Island, which is approximately 6 miles away. Law enforcement did not disclose their reasons for searching that area when they did, which included the Salvi Island Bridge. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I do think that since then, Terry, this is just the basic background, but I do realize that Terry has been at the forefront of this because she was obviously the last adult who was with Kyron, her stepson. And I believe that Desiree, Kyron's birth mom, really looks at Terry as probably knowing more to what happened to her son that day. And I believe that there were also some other legal issues later on between Terry and Kane. I think that there was some sort of discovery by the police that Terry had attempted to hire someone to kill her husband, Kane. And so that kind of came out after the whole disappearance of Kyron. And eventually Kane and Terry ended up getting a divorce. And so that marriage separated. I'm assuming that the father has full custody of their child, the baby girl, Kiara. She would probably be, I'm assuming, 11 or 12 years old today. I don't know where Terry is. I believe I read somewhere in an article that she moved back to her hometown and is living with her parents. But, this is, 10, 11 years ago now, and there have been no arrests. Kyron, unfortunately, has never been found. But I think Terry has been primarily the focus of, what happened to Kyron. But there hasn't been any any kind of arrest. And so we all know that, you're innocent until proven guilty. So we are just going to go into this and kind of see what kind of information comes out with the cards. I know that there was a science fair that morning at the school, and when Terry went to the school to attend this science fair, she claims that she left the school at 8:45, and she last seen him, as we read, going down the hallway to his class. However, he never made it to any of those classes. So what happened to Kyron? I've got two decks here. I've got the Hoodoo Tarot, and I've got the Universal Lo Scarabeo Tarot deck. I wasn't really sure which cards to use, but I just want to kind of go basic with the Universal and see what comes out. So I want to kind of go back to, and I'm not even giving you guys all of the information about Terry, the stepmother. There's a lot of things out there about her. Apparently she was, I guess I'll call it sexting. She was sexting, someone soon after the disappearance of Kyron. I don't know, just weird kind of behavior that you wouldn't think somebody, after going through something this horrific, would be doing. So a lot of questions about Terry, and that is kind of who I want to focus on, is Terry and what happened that day. So let's go back to that day on June 4th, 2010, and see what comes out. But before I do that, I want to do a yes or no and just see if Terry knows more information. And also I do want to add that I did read that everybody in the family took a lie detectors test, and everyone passed but Terry. Apparently she took 2 lie detector tests and she failed both of them. Now she is saying that a reason for that is possibly because she has a hearing problem, I think, in one ear. And so, she claims that she doesn't know why she failed the lie detector test, because she is being completely honest about what happened that day. And she's not hiding anything, and possibly that ear problem could have affected the result. So that is what she's saying. So, and I know lie detector tests aren't reliable in the court of law, but I do kind of feel like for the most part they're probably, it's a good indication of whether or not somebody's lying. We all know Chris Watts took a lie detectors test and he failed that too, right? So I think for the most part, I know they're not 100% reliable, but I think that they are a good indicator. So there's something going on, but I want to ask a yes or a no. This one fell out. We'll use this in a second. Yes or a no, does Terry have more information than she's leading us to believe? So to me, hopefully you guys can see that. That is the 5 of Cups. So I think that whatever information she does know or is aware of, she's got feelings of shame about it. It is something that she's shameful of. So that doesn't necessarily mean that she's guilty of anything. It just means that, there is some information that she has or that she is aware of, and she's not feeling too great about it. So let's keep that in mind. We'll put that off to the side. So I want to go back to June 4th, 2010. What happened that day after the science fair? So let's start out with a few. All right. So we've got the 2 of Pentacles. That to me is, we've got the infinity sign, so it represents balance. It can sometimes, Pentacles is earth, earthly, materialistic type things. And so this kind of makes me feel like we're talking about Terry here, and trying to balance maybe her wants versus her needs. Was there something that, what did she look at? This makes me almost think that she was looking at Kyron as something that could have been in the way of, maybe just he was in the way of something, was she, it kind of makes me feel like there could have been some maybe jealousy. trying to balance the relationship with her husband, the kids, whatever else she was doing at that time, her work, things like that. And so I think that there could be some issues with that. And don't forget that this infinity sign is made with a snake, so we've got a serpent. So to me, I know snakes aren't always necessarily meant to be bad omens, but I do kind of look at it as somebody that's sneaky. They're a snake, sneaky. And so I do kind of get a feeling that overall, as far as her whole personality to me is very conniving and can be very like a trickster, a sneaky person, not always honest. So, again, it doesn't mean that she did anything. I do think that there's something that she's ashamed of. She did, there's something that she knows. Not saying that she did anything, but I kind of get that feeling of she could be a snake. Okay. Definitely she was thinking about something. She was pondering something. There was something going on in her mind that she was considering doing. I definitely feel like whatever it was, she was gung-ho for it. This was the day that it happened. But there's other issues that were bothering her. Something's not right in her life. There's something bothering her. There's something, when I look at these two pentacles here, something's not right. The Five of Pentacles isn't necessarily a great card. This is like a card of suffering. It can be financial hardship. It can be health issues. So it kind of makes me, since we've got two pentacles now, it kind of makes me wonder was there money issues? Was she concerned about money issues? And I hate even talking like this, but it's like one of those, I don't know, I hate to say this, but like an evil stepmother type thing. Was she jealous of money that was being spent on Kyron? Was she jealous that maybe the dad, Cain, would purchase things for Kyron? Things like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting right now. And look at these two cards here, these three cards, and smack dab in the middle is her contemplating something, her planning something. Okay, this is an idea that you're actually starting to now put into motion. Okay, so, and then this is like gung-ho going after it, and you've decided, you've made your decision, and now you're doing it. And then all of a sudden there's celebration. So we've got some sort of celebration after the fact. So I feel like this is almost the story right here. There's some issue. There's planning, there's doing, and then there's celebrating. So, was she celebrating because Kyron was gone? I don't know. So let's pull a few more cards and see here. I want to know flat out, did Terry have something to do with Kyron's disappearance? Does Terry have anything to do with Kyron's disappearance? Does Terry have anything to do with Kyron's disappearance? Wow. If that isn't a yes card, I don't know what is. The Sun is probably the strongest yes card in the deck. And look at that. Look at that. Because normally the Sun card shows a little boy. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Hopefully usually the Sun card shows a little boy on a white horse. But we've got that. This is why I like the Los Scarabeo deck. It's just a different, it's the same, but it's different images, and it just gives you a different way of looking at a card. We know that when Kyron went missing, he was young. Okay, I can't remember if I think he was he 9? I don't know, but he was a young guy, right? So we know now he would be probably, I think, 18, possibly going on 20 this year. So it's literally showing the transition of this young boy on this white horse, and now he's a man. He's a grown man. And that is exactly Kyron. So I do believe that this is Kyron, and he is in a Sun card. And so that is good and that is not good. I do feel like this right here is not necessarily a good sign per se, but it does show him in the Sun, and I think that that's important to remember. So wherever he is, I do believe that he's in a good place spiritually, but I don't want to say any more than that. But this is also a yes card, so I do feel like she had something to do with his disappearance. what happened that day after the science? Actually, no, I want to ask, did Terry leave that building with Kyron? Did Terry leave that school with Kyron? Did Terry leave the school building with Kyron? And then we've got the Queen of Wands. So look, we've got son, we've got mother. Gosh, I don't know. Can you guys see this really well? I keep looking at my screen and I don't know if you can actually see the cards here. I need to invest in some like better equipment so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So we've got Kyron, and I do believe that the Queen of Wands is a mother figure. I wouldn't necessarily associate Terry with the Queen of Wands, but I kind of feel like this is her. I'm not quite yet sure if this is her or if this would be Desiree. I would expect Terry to come out as more of a Queen of Swords, kind of like no nonsense business type person. But this is definitely a mother figure. And the question is did Terry leave that school building with Kyron that day? And I would kind of lean towards saying yes. Yes, I do think that she did. What happened that day when Terry left that school building with Kyron? What happened that day after Terry left that school building with Kyron? Oh man, Ten of Swords. So, not a good start. So we've got the Ten of Swords. All right, so the Ten of Swords can be, figuratively, it can be, betrayal, right? But it can also be taken literal, and it can be an attack of some sort. And so you could look at these swords as a weapon. It could be something like a knife or something like that. But, I take this as some sort of an attack or an assault on someone. And that someone right here is Kyron, unfortunately. Now, they're out in Oregon, right? So I've never been to Oregon. I don't know what it looks like, but we do have some mountains here. Okay, we've got some mountains. We've got, it kind of looks like a vast area out in the middle of nowhere. And I could only imagine that is probably a large percentage of Oregon. I know that they have, I think they have mountains, and they probably have a ton of space like that, but I think that it would be important to look in the area where, I don't know, back in 2002 if they had GPSs on vehicles, or if they could, I don't know enough of the details as far as the search, but she's obviously, she didn't have enough time to drive 500 miles unless she had somebody else working with her and helping her. So if she did do something with Kyron, unfortunately, it would have to have been in an area that was somewhat close by, because we know that she was back home again in the afternoon to go, walking to the school bus to pick up Kyron. So I want to ask, is there anyone else involved in what happened to Kyron? Is there anyone else involved that was helping Terry? Anyone else involved that was helping Terry that day? Anyone else involved? And this will be kind of just a yes or no. Anyone else involved? Oh, okay. So, wow, we have an Emperor. So, by no means do I have any kind of ill feelings towards, I kind of feel like you guys can't see anything. I don't know if it's just me or if it's the lighting, but we've got the Emperor. And so by no means do I feel like Cain, the father of Kyron, is involved with anything. I think that he is just absolutely as devastated as the birth mother Desiree is. But this is a man. This is a man. So I do believe that there is someone else that was helping Terry that day. So it's possible that, this area here could really technically be any area, really. It's hard to tell. But those mountains kind of make me feel like Oregon is still the place where Kyron is. But there is someone else involved in this case with Terry. And this is a no-nonsense person. This is an older person. I would venture to say a little bit older than Terry. This is definitely someone who, you know, is a take charge. I mean, you've got all the bulls, right? This is somebody that Terry isn't controlling, okay? This is somebody that is possibly controlling Terry, or at least they're working together, but this is somebody that I think was a helper of some sort. And let's keep going to see here. And I do think it's a male. I do think it's a male. I think she had a male helper. I know there's some conversation about her friend, possibly, you know, was involved because her whereabouts during that time that Terry was supposedly driving around to soothe the baby with the earache, her friend is unaccounted for. So I don't know about that. I'll pull a card on it, but I don't know about her friend being involved, but there is definitely another man involved. So what about the friend? What about the friend that we hear about? Was she involved in any of this, or does she know what happened? All right. The King of Pentacles. So I don't think, my guess is the friend may know something, but I don't think that she participated or is a part of anything. I think that whoever was working with Terry is more of a male. This is a male person. This is a man. So, and then you've got Pentacles again, and I do feel like those first couple of cards, the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles, I think that there was some sort of financial reasoning behind it. I don't know what their financial situation was. It looks like here online it says that the father worked as an engineer for Intel, but I kind of feel like this has some sort of, there's some money behind this. I don't know if Terry, you know, is one of those money-hungry women that wants a man to be making tons of money so that she can go out and splurge and spend. I don't know if she thought maybe too much money was being spent on Kyron. Was it a jealousy thing? They had a baby girl, so, you know, did she want all the focus to be on this baby girl and nothing on Kyron? I don't know, you know. But I do kind of feel like there is some financial aspect to this. She wanted more. She wanted more. She likes the finer things. She likes nice things. And this person, whoever was helping her, was, I think, promising that for whatever reason. So interesting. All right. So I want to ask about that day specifically, and I want to see if we can get the story, if we can pull out a story. So I want to know what happened. Oh, okay. Well, I will say that the Seven of Cups, for me, when I'm reading for these types of cases, is a drugging card. Okay, that's a drugging card. That's cloudy head. That's being confused. Normally, a person, I think, if you pull this card, you're gonna probably say something along the lines of you have a lot of options, or you're trying to make a decision. But in crime, when I'm reading on things like this, it's a drugging card. It means your head is clouded, you're confused, something's been given to you. It could be that you're drinking, because we are talking about cups. So we're talking about 7 cups, and that's a lot of drinks. Or it's something that has been given to you, and it can also be my quote-unquote cocktail card. Multiple things that have been given to a person. And so I do feel like there is something that was given to Kyron that made him not in his right state of mind. So let's see what else. Was Kyron, I want to know if she passed him along to someone. And what do you know? The Chariot. The Chariot. She left that building with him that day. I don't know what kind of vehicle she was driving at that time, but the Chariot is a car. So there was a car involved in this, and I do believe that she walked out of that building. She gave, someone gave Kyron something. Kyron was not in his right frame of mind. He was probably drugged up with something, and he was put in a car. So, unbelievable that the Chariot came up, and she was in that car for, what was it? And okay, let me see. She claims she went to the grocery store, and then between that time, between 10 o'clock, about quarter after 10, and about 11:40, she claims that she was driving around to try to get the baby to go to sleep. So, not quite an hour. So we've got an hour here, and that hour is important in this case because something happened in that hour. We've got drugging, we've got car. Something happened in that hour. What happened? Tell us what happened in that hour drive. What happened to Kyron in that hour-long drive? What happened to Kyron in that hour-long drive? Yeah, okay, so we've got the Eight of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups in this particular deck is, to me, kind of like a cult card. And I use it as a cult card because everybody is, it's not like your normal or the average universal Rider-Waite Ten of Cups where everybody is kind of like the happy family type card. This literally shows 10 people wearing the exact same outfit, and they're all facing in the same direction, and they're kind of like saluting that big cup with the rainbow, and it just kind of gives me a cult vibe, and so it has been labeled my cult card for myself. So this is a group of like-minded people, basically. And then again, we've got cups, we've got drinking. So I do believe that there was help along the way. I don't think that Terry worked alone. I think that there definitely there's at least one other man, possibly two, that was helping her. And they were all working together. This was a plan that was meticulously planned. I mean, this was something that was thought out very well. And they had everything put together, and each piece just kind of fit perfectly. I think everybody had their role, and I think overall the plan was successful because, let's face it, there has been there's been no arrest in this case, and unfortunately Kyron has never been found. So I do feel like this was almost like, and we had that celebration card, we had this here, so we've got some celebrating. I do feel like there's a sense of, man, we got away with it. We are so lucky we got away with it. This is, now we can celebrate. This is awful. All right, so I want to know, hold on. Okay, so we've got another 10. We've got some 10s. We've got the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. And then we've also got, let me see if I can adjust the lighting again. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so we've got 10s. 10s in tarot are kind of like endings, or on the cusp of endings, new beginnings. They're transition cards. So I don't like the fact that there's a lot of 10s coming up in this reading because it does indicate an ending of some sort. So that is that. But also we've got a lot of Pentacles, and so I do think that there is something going on with money, financial. This here, the Nine of Pentacles, is a luxury card. It's reaping your rewards. You've worked hard. You are now, and it's got the snails. Snails are always on this card, indicating the length and time that it took to get to this level of security and abundance. But this just kind of tells me that this, to me, was a plan that was in plan for a long time. This is what I'm getting from these few cards here, that this was something that she had been working on. And that kind of goes well with that, what was it, the Three of Wands. This was something that she had been planning for a while. This wasn't something that was spur of the moment. She had help, and she was planning on doing something that day, and it seems like everything just worked out according to her plan. I don't necessarily know if she was the one who came up with this plan, or if that Emperor was the one who came up with the plan, or even that King of Pentacles. you know, I don't know if this is two different people or if it's the same person, but I do feel like there was a plan in action. This had been this had been planned for quite a while. And it seemed to unfortunately go off without a hitch. So I want to go back to the car ride because I do want to know, you know, where is Kyron? Where is Kyron located? Let me just ask a yes or no if Kyron is still in Oregon. Is Kyron still in Oregon? Is Kyron still in Oregon? Oh God, we've got the Seven of Swords. Well, as a yes or a no, that would be a no. For me, that's a no card. So, you know, we've got a trap. We've got lies, deception. We've also got tense. Outside. I do think he is outside, definitely. You know, we've got tents, so we've got possibly a place where people go camping or something like that, but this is also stepping into a trap. Okay, so I don't really think this is also a good card for me when I'm pulling it on somebody like Terry or a suspect or something like that, because yeah, he's getting away with it, but just for right now. Okay, he doesn't even see that this cobra or this snake down here is getting ready to attack him. He's literally walking away thinking he's getting away with something, and he's about ready to get bit by that snake. So he's walking into a trap. So I do kind of feel like this is a good sign that even though nothing has happened as of now as far as justice, but I do feel like it's not going to be like that forever. There is going to be some justice. Look at those dark clouds. I look at this as being possibly Terry. Okay, so this is somebody who thinks, you know, he's kind of got a smirk on his face. I don't know if you can see it, but he's kind of got that smirk on his face. And he's looking back and he's kind of happy with himself. He's gotten away with it, right? He thinks he's sneaky. He thinks he's been successful in getting away with what he's getting away with, but he doesn't see that there is a trap coming, and we've got this dark cloud up here, so we've got a storm brewing, and he isn't going to necessarily get away with it, okay? So there are going to be some consequences to what he's doing, and I do think that in this case there are going to be consequences to what was done. Will Kyron ever be found? Will Kyron ever be found? Will Kyron ever be found? Nine of Cups. Ace of Pentacles. So right away with the Three of Swords, that is betrayal, heartbreak, all that horrible stuff. You know, so I do think it's a possibility that he could be found, but I don't think he's going to be found in the state that the birth parents are hoping for. I really don't, and I don't even like to say that, but you know, this case has already devastated the parents, obviously. And, you know, I think I watched, well, I know I watched a video, an interview with Kane and Desiree, separate videos, but it was in the separate interviews, but in the same video. And I don't necessarily know what Desiree feels as far as whether or not Kyron is alive, but I think that Kane, the father, likes to think of him as being alive because they don't have any proof otherwise, and so they're hoping for the best, right? So you can understand that. However, with Kyron coming up as the young man in the Sun card, it just, and that Ten of Cups makes me feel, unfortunately, otherwise. But I do think that there could potentially be a break in this case. I don't know exactly when, but the Ace of Pentacles is something new. It's something that is literally, and look, we are outside. We've got those same hills. We've got a tree. We've got some rocks and some mountains back there. And so to me, this is definitely, I feel, you know, I feel like it could potentially be one of those cases where somebody is just randomly out hiking and comes across something and it gets reported, and that I feel like that is possibly what's going to happen in this particular case. So it's got to be something new, or there's going to be a new piece. I look at this as sometimes a new piece of evidence that comes forward. There's something new. There's something. To me, this could be evidence. Because it is a pentacle, so it's an earthly possession. It's a material type thing. So we're looking at something tangible, I think. It's a piece of evidence. It's something that they find, something that someone finds, or something that's given to someone, and it is going to help solve this crime, or this case, I should say. I don't want to say, the Nine of Cups, I think, this is an interesting card to pull. I do kind of feel like I'm just going to look at the number in this situation. We've got a lot of cups. So we've got cups, and I feel like in this particular reading, the cups are signifying, I really do think that there's something going on with drugging, the drugging of Kyron. I do think that he was given something, but this is also a 9, and so it kind of makes me feel like, I don't know. This is an interesting card. What do you guys think about the Nine of Cups? I'm also thinking that this could represent Terry and her satisfaction of what she's done and what she's managed to get away with. So the more I look at this, because this is a contentment card. This is a man who is happy with what he has, right? A contentment. That's what I look at the Nine of Cups as, traditionally, contentment. Or having an abundance of things and being happy or being satisfied. So if I look at it that way, I'm kind of thinking of Terry, and I'm thinking of the fact that she's content with what has happened. I don't see any remorse. I see some shame in the first card that I pulled, that Five of Cups. I see some shame. I think that if it were to come out, the truth were to come out, there would be some severe shame on her end. But I think that she's content with the fact that it has not come out, and she's content with what happened. It's not bothering her on a deep level. I don't see any cards here that came out that says that she's sorry or has any kind of concerns whatsoever. I see happiness and contentment. And this also kind of goes with that Three of Cups as well. Celebration, happiness. She did what she intended on doing. So that's not good. Let me switch over to the Hoodoo Tarot deck and see if we can get any more information, because I do feel like somebody else. I want to know if she did leave the school with him. Did she drive to meet someone and hand him off? That's what I want to know. That's what I'm curious about, because I think that she did give him something. She drugged him in something in the car. He probably fell asleep, and she probably drove to meet someone and possibly handed him to someone else, and then they did whatever they did. That's kind of how I'm putting these puzzle pieces together. I'd be curious to know your guys' opinion here. All right, so did Terry drive to meet somebody? Did she drive to meet somebody? Okay, and we've got two. Oh, okay, so two cards. This one kind of fell out, and this one. So we've got the Seven of Sticks, or the Seven of Wands, and we've got the Seven of Baskets. So we've got two sevens, actually, which is an uneven number. So that kind of is bothering me a little bit. So we've got things that are, off balance here. Things aren't right. Things just aren't, they're not quite right. So the Seven of Baskets is no different from the Seven of Cups. It's the same card. And the fact that that's coming out twice really makes me feel like he was drugged. I think he was drugged in that car. I don't know if it was in the form of a pill, or if it was something that she put in a drink, or if she, had it planned, but I do think that it was ready. I think that she did take him to the science fair as kind of an alibi, or hoping that he would be seen, and she posts all the pictures on Facebook to kind of show that that's where he was, goes back to the bus stop to pick him up at 3:00, knowing probably damn well what she did. And I do think that this is this is indicating that there was some sort of drugging that took place, and he was asleep. So interesting, the 7 of Sticks or the 7 of Wands, that's defense. You know, so it kind of makes me, this kind of bothers me. I don't know if this is Kyron being defensive. I don't know if possibly he woke up and he was knowing that something wasn't right and he was trying to get out of this situation. That's kind of what it makes me feel like. I really do. I kind of feel like, you know, this is a young boy who possibly woke up and did not know what was going on and was trying to get away. We've got, if we look at the geography of the card, we've got, you know, we've got trees in the background, but we've also got some water. So there's some water there as well. So let's keep that in mind. So we've seen mountains, we've seen trees, we've seen all sorts of things like that. And so now we've also got water. So interesting. All right. So did Terry have someone working with her? Did she give Kyron to somebody else that day? Did she hand over Kyron to someone else that day? Did she hand over Kyron to someone else that day? So the Daughter of Baskets. Daughter. So in this case, the daughter is the knight, and the sons are the pages. That's how it is in this particular deck. So this is a knight. This is a Knight of Cups. And what is a Knight of Cups, guys? A Knight of Cups is that love card. It's that player card. It's the, you know, the flirtatious, old-fashioned love, okay? Knights are action. This is the action. This is that, you know, I feel like this is somebody that she was possibly flirting with, possibly, and it's interesting because it's a female, and I do think that, let's just switch that up a little bit. I think she was using sex as something to lure someone into helping her. So interesting that the daughter came up, and the daughter is a knight in this deck, and I do feel like Terry is the person who put this in action. I don't think she was the one who put it in action mentally. I think she was the one who put it in action physically. I think someone else put the idea into her head and she went along with it. But whoever was helping her, this is a love card, okay? This is a romantic card. That was, I think, what she used in exchange, if that makes sense. So I do think that he was handed off to someone else. And look at her carrying the basket on her head. That is literally transporting. That's transporting something. Now this is a basket. It's cups. It's water, emotions, feelings. But in this card, she is literally, and it looks like she could be transforming flowers. And it's interesting that the only thing that has color in this particular card are the flowers. And I'm looking at the flowers as Kyron. I really am. And I feel like she is literally transporting him to another location or to someone else. Will there be any justice in this case? Will there be any justice in this case? Let's pull a few cards here. Will there be any justice in this case? Oh, Six of Pentacles. Oh, man. Ace of Baskets. You know what? We have got a lot of lucky cards, okay? I do with that moon. I think that there is going to be something found out. I really do believe that. I think, and look at this. In this particular moon card, it's an older man with a young boy. And so interesting that we're reading on a boy and a young boy is actually in the moon card. How often do you have a young boy in the moon card? So very interesting. I do feel like there is possibly going to be something develop in this case. I don't know when. However, we have got two cards here that are kind of resembling or giving the vibration of gambling, right? We've got the Wheel of Fortune and we've got the Six of Coins. The 6 of coins in this one here is that, look at that, it's a lucky card. You know, you've got the itchy hand, you've got the $2 bill, the dice, right? Your luck. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune, you know, right below it. So we've got 2 luck cards. And I do kind of feel like there is going to, it's not going to be something that they're seeking. It's going to be, I think, opened up with something that just kind of develops. And it's not going to be because of police work or anything like that. I think it's going to be by accident, by luck. There is going to be some developments in this case, but it's going to be of luck. Okay, somebody's going to come across something. Something's going to come forward. We've got another ace. We've got the Ace of Cups, so the Ace of Baskets. I do think that there is going to be some hope in this case. I really, really do. I really do. I don't think it's going to be the hope that the family is praying for. I don't, and that's just my opinion. You know, so I don't know anything for a fact, but I get that feeling with the cards that I've pulled today, especially with that Sun card. But there is going to be some form of closure, and I do think it's going to be exposed. I think what happened is going to come out. We've got the Moon card. What does the Moon do? It illuminates things, right? These are things that are hidden, that you don't know, that you don't see, that you can't see. And so the Moon kind of comes in and illuminates so that you can see. So I do think with that Ace of Cups and that Ace of Pentacles and this Moon card, I do think something is gonna be discovered. Something's gonna happen, and it's just gonna be the time. It's just gonna be the time for it to happen. Okay. The Two of Knives, I think that this is literally Terry. You know, she had a choice to make. She, I think, made the wrong one, obviously, but this is the second 2 we've had. We've had the 2 of Pentacles in the other deck, and now we got the 2 of Knives. This is my shitty decision card. This is, you know, you're going to have to make a choice, and, you know, that's just the way it is. Both of them kind of suck, and I think that in her mind, in her sick mind, at that time, she needed to do something for whatever reason, whether it be jealousy, whether it be finances, whether she felt that, you know, maybe the father was showing too much love to Kyron and not enough to her daughter. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But she felt that she needed to make a choice, and she made that choice. And so I don't think that she's necessarily going to get away with it. Something's going to happen. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end it there today. I do feel like, you know, Terry is not being 100% truthful. I do think that there were other people helping her that day, and I do think that she, you know, too many Seven of Cup. I mean, 1 7 of Cup is enough to make me feel like he was drugged, but I do think that he was drugged and handed over to someone else, and you know, that's just. It's horrible. It's just horrible. And I think that she's really, really, really content with herself, and almost has, with that 7 of Swords, has that smirk on her face. Like, I got away with it. They can't put this on me. I've got away with it. She literally failed 2 polygraph tests, and I'm kind of shocked. Let me just ask one more time. Is Terry ever going to be arrested in this crime? Or is there ever going to be an arrest in this crime? Is there ever going to be an arrest in this crime? Is there ever going to be an arrest in this crime? I know I put that stack of cards back on here. So, is there ever going to be an arrest in this crime? Oh, wow. The Magician. Huh. Well, with that, we can say anything is possible, right? I think that more information is going to come out about this case. We're dealing with one sneaky individual. I think that this person here is also, this is representing a whole bunch of stuff. This is anything is possible. This is a card of manifestation, right? You know, this is a person who has all the tools and the skills to do what they want to do. And this is good and bad in this particular case. I feel like this is bad in the sense that you know, Terry had the ability to do something like this and get away with it. She had this plan, and it seemed to be meticulously planned out, and it worked. But this also tells me that on the flip side, you know, I don't think that she's going to get away with it for too long, because I do think that there is going to be something that is discovered or found, and it's just going to be it's just going to be not her lucky day, put it that way. I do think that there is going to be some form of justice in this case. I don't know when. You know, I know we're going on 11 years here, but I do think that there is going to be something that happens, and it is going to, you know, it's going to kind of, you know, be devastating, but I do think that there is going to be some justice in this case. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to have to switch to an adult next week. I find it so sad to read on kids. I don't like it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and until next week, I will see you then, and enjoy the weather, guys. All right, bye.